The 2019 one was with her current partner. 2018 is with Rubika Sugiarto. Taller, Amalia Chahaya Pratiwi at 171. They've had 4 titles together. Sorry, 2 titles together, I should say, excuse me. Australian Taipei Open both this year. There's a result we talked about yesterday. Bekena and Lee So-hee, just 6 points in the first game. And Bobby, you know, you were here as well yesterday on court 2. Were there, I mean, it wasn't like the conditions were playing a massive role in any of that, were there?
Not particularly in the women's doubles. It's a reasonably quick court. Both of the courts, in fact, are quite fast. There's a bit of drift on court 2, however, from right to left, but that doesn't seem to affect the doubles games as much.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's faster and slower on ends, that might affect the doubles games, but there's not that much going on here. I just don't think they're in particularly good form, despite those 2 titles you mentioned that they've won this year.
Now, what about the styles? Let's talk about the Japanese style, the one we're going to see from Iwanaga and Nakanishi. It's one of patience, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And on court 2 yesterday, we had their teammates Matsuyama and Shida as well. They've done well this year, Iwanaga and Nakanishi. You know, they've got 6 titles on their CV. They've got 5 this year, including the Denmark Open you mentioned. That is very impressive as we take a look at Mai Lang Yen there, the Vietnamese umpire.
Su Xiafeng is the Chinese service judge? Yeah, probably, sorry.
But the style of women's doubles has changed quite recently over the last couple of years. The top pairs in the world, and you look at Tan Ning at the moment from China, you look at how well Chen Qingchen and Zhao Fan have done, it's a lot more aggressive. It's a lot more sort of power play, faster rallies. That defensive style of typically the Japanese pairs is starting to get a bit outdated. They are still committing to it, and the top Japanese players in the world are still playing that way, but typically they're getting to sort of quarterfinals, semi-finals now, and not that much further. So they are consistent, they are getting the ranking points, earning themselves a place here. Yeah. But winning this
Pushing
title,
on from there, right?
Yeah, can they win it this week? I doubt it.
So we'll get underway here in this first match of 5. Second day of the World Tour Finals. It's just out.
1 low.
When we talk about an Indonesian style as well, Bobby, it tends to be more sort of skillful, more fairly aggressive as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, free-flowing badminton.
Someone once told me it's the Brazil of badminton.
I mean, it's hard to talk about an entire nation and say that everyone plays in that way.
Exactly.
I mean, that is a little bit stereotypical and perhaps not
pigeonholing everyone.
Appropriate. However, typically the Indonesian style of badminton is a lot more wristy, a lot more creative, a lot of flair, the trick shots. We see it with the likes of the Malaysian player yesterday, Pearly Tan, playing with Muralitharan. Very skillful, very
pleasing to the eye, isn't it? It's quite aesthetic
when it comes off.
Yeah.
However, when it's not quite working and there's tons of errors involved, that doesn't become as pleasing to the eye. But it's a definite sort of clash of styles here in this one.
It's a good start from the Indonesians. Very quick 3-point leads, the longest rally already. Good judgment. First point on the board for Iwanaga and Nakanishi.
Yeah, she did well to leave that, because the attack, once you get into that attacking sort of hitting zone and you're hitting down, you just want to keep going. She did well to keep her cool there. They've got a definite sort of favoured rotation, favoured position on court. Iwanaga's dying to get to the net. Nakanishi, the bigger hitter, is trying to control things from the rear court, and that's where whilst we say they're quite defensive, when they counter-attack, if they're in that position, you will see them hitting hard and trying to sort of take the net away, but that kind of thing. I think other players might have just held the net there. Chen would have taken that on, chipped the net, and tried to keep the attack, whereas this Japanese pair are very happy just to lift it back.
Well wide on that one, on the return.
3-4.
Well, after winning 3 of the last 4 points, Kusuma Pratiwi being happy to sort of disrupt that rhythm.
It's quite interesting too with this women's doubles Group B. The other match is going on court 1 at the moment, Chen and Jia against Bate and Lee. So the winner of that match should provide us with a pair that's topping the group and likely to take top spot with the final match tomorrow. But
yeah, they both have a tough matchup tomorrow. These two pairs are here on court 2. And probably hear from the crowd, they're very much keen to see Chen back in action.
yeah, she did well, good interception, Iwanaga. Yeah, it's great to see Chen back. She's not quite looking as sharp as she did, which is expected and understandable. That being said, yesterday, watching that match, she knows she's got to take some chances. So actually, she was looking a little bit more aggressive than usual. She was really taking it on and hitting hard.
I think the impressive thing for Iwanaga and Nakanishi is just how successful they were this year. 6 titles, equaled by Liu Xingshu and Tan Ning. They were 2nd in the ranking going into this World Tour finals. Their opponents are 7th.
That's a good shot.
Brilliant. A lot of court there to aim at.
7-5.
Pratiwi, I think it was from the back, just hitting exactly the right place for Nakanishi to counter. Has to be careful there, Pratiwi. She could take the pace off or place that smash in a slightly different place to prevent that counter-attack.
7 of the last 9 points have gone the way of the Japanese pair.
Really backing themselves in defence, the Japanese. Just driving that shuttle back. Very seldom do we see them try and absorb the pace and block it to the net so they can follow in and get the attack back themselves. They're just not that bothered. They just keep driving it back. Go on, try and hit through me. And very few people can.
Right, and that's that patience we talked about, right? Just waiting for something to happen. Not necessarily being too proactive.
No,
that was a belated call, wasn't it? But it was out, and the Japanese pairing not going to challenge that.
Quite often when the call is that late, you get a challenge, because if the line judge isn't sure, then
you would have thought, but kept their powder dry.
patience again, even in attack this time from the Japanese. If it's not on for Nakanishi to hit and move forwards, she's happy just to keep putting the drops in between the two Indonesians.
I mean, in some ways, it's kind of just wearing down your opponent, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. With any player or any pair, there's a belief in a process. There's a style that you're happy with, you're comfortable with, and they feel like they're just not going to make a mistake unless they're really outstretched.
Right.
They could just keep going and going and going. So therefore, why try and take a risk when they can just keep going? And I think that's their style, and that is complete opposite to the Indonesians, who at the first opportunity might try something a little bit special.
I think there's no coincidence that records for longest rallies involve mainly Japanese and Korean players, women's doubles players. It's just the style that they play. I think what's impressive as well, Bobby, the sheer number of Japanese women's doubles pairings out there. And it's this one, who are quite unheralded, aren't they? I mean, before this year, they weren't really getting noticed that much. They weren't going up the rankings. It's been kind of a meteoric rise for them.
Yeah, I think they had one title prior to this year, which is nothing particularly special. And like you say, there's so many pairs from Japan. I think the last sort of 10 years, and prior to that we didn't see it as much, but women's badminton players from Japan over the last 10 years, they almost sort of took over. It was amazing. Really nice play from Iwanaga. Again, she's happy to push forward. She knows her role. When there's that opportunity in return of serve, she will be the one that sort of pounces and tries to create something from the forecourt. You won't see that much from Nakanishi. She's more likely to just lay it off and move backwards and take the attack. It's very well patterned, structured. They know their job. There was one, for example. Nakanishi hit the shuttle cross court with a block. Broken string.
That was very audible.
A lot of players would follow that in and take the front. And
that would be the intuitive move, wouldn't it?
But her role is not the forecourt, so therefore she drives it, and her partner knows if it blocks back to net, she's going to go and get it.
So at the interval then of this first game, Iwanaga and Nakanishi, after a bit of a slow start, they lead 11-9.
Jangan terlalu agak silang. Kalau agak silang, jagain lurusnya. Jadi banting-banting. Ya, udah benar kamu udah nyerang agak ke lurusnya, kamu udah antisipasi itu. Tinggal kamu arahin aja, terusin patternya gitu. Ya, cuman nggak ada kiri kanannya, kamu lihat situasinya 1, 2, 3. Nah, ya itu aja. Lebih yakin lagi ya. Ya bisa.
So Iwanaga and Nakanishi with a 2-point lead here against Kusuma and Pratiwi of Indonesia.
Almost too much time to think about that.
10, 11.
See, if I'm right, watch Iwanaga push this forwards and move forwards. She stays at the net. Nakanishi in the previous rally did the same shot and moved backwards. If I'm the Indonesians, and you can see that in the first half of the first game, they should be able to adapt and cope with that and evolve and know that if Iwanaga's serving, for example, and you play net, she's likely to pounce on it. So don't. But if Nakanishi's serving and you play net, you can move forward yourself. You know, there's all this kind of strategy going on, or at least there should be.
Well, if you're noticing it, Bobby, you're assuming that they've certainly noticed it.
Yeah.
Go back in front. Kusuma Pratiwi.
11.
3 points in a row.
Got good defense, Nakanishi. Switches the grip forehand and backhand very effortlessly. See, that's where there's a bit of indecision because Iwanaga wants to get to net. Nakanishi there should have gone out to take that attack to allow her to do it, and that's where sometimes you get that sort of breakdown of communication.
That's our longest rally so far, 38 shots. I think the Indonesians have certainly sharpened up, haven't they, since the interval?
That's good.
It's an awkward one.
Service over.
They break that run.
12, 13.
It's a lovely shot. Doesn't have a lot of time to think about this, Iwanaga, and turns the shuttle back across her opponent, keeps it in court. Not easy.
Attacking
Service over.
nicely at the moment, the Indonesians.
12.
Another small breakdown in communication here. See how Iwanaga was moving out? She shouldn't have been. Her initial movement wasn't in the right direction, so to speak, and it made her a partner quite late on the shuttle. So they are susceptible, whilst they're in form and have had all these titles, they are susceptible to being attacked, so to speak. Just need to stay in the rally long enough, the Indonesians, and they're doing that at the moment.
Talking of the Indonesians, we mentioned earlier how Iwanaga and Nakanishi have sort of overshadowed some bigger pairings. I mean, we look at Apriani Rahayu and Sylvia Ramadanti were probably at one point the more preeminent Indonesian women's doubles pairing, but they've had their injury woes.
Yeah, they've struggled with that. Seems that one of them's always struggling with something, and, and obviously, you know, they've been around a while now as well.
12.
So they've sort of taken over that vacuum, filled it in. Kusuma Pratiwi.
Wonderful.
Nicely done.
16.
Well, since the interval, it's been 7-1 to Kusuma Pratiwi. certainly picked things up nicely.
That's brilliant.
17, 12.
And that's the first time we've seen it, and there is that evolution as the game goes on. Again, you serve into Iwanaga, she wants to move forward, she's likely then to try and play a net shot or a push. Your job as server is to pounce on that if you can, and she did brilliantly then.
Again.
Oh, superb.
Very nicely placed. Oh, this has
18,
been an
12.
extremely good post-interval session for the Indonesians.
Yeah, they're just picking the Japanese pair apart at the moment. I wonder whether all of that was assessed and discussed during that interval.
Right.
Oh, lovely shot.
Lovely. Yeah, salute for Pratiwi. Great shot again.
That's a good rally.
Indonesians. Are they going to finish it off? Oh, that's close. Worth a challenge. It is going to be checked.
Didn't look to be a great deal of confidence on Pratiwi's face as she challenged that, to be honest. Be unlucky if this was wide, because the space was there.
It was there, wasn't it, to be taken, to be exploited. Yeah, that is out.
Challenge unsuccessful. One challenge remaining. Service over.
So that brings to an end
13,
their best
18.
run of points so far of 5.
Play.
And only the second point that they've had in the last 11. Iwanaga Nakanishi.
Took that well.
Service over.
It was more of a drive than a lift. I don't think the defensive shot, the penultimate shot, really came off well, because look where she was taking that smash from. She's only mid-court. A lot of work to do here for the Japanese pair, because their strategy isn't really being effective, especially in the second half of this game.
Reminder again, when they met in Thailand in the semi-final of the
14,
Thailand Open,
19.
Kusuma Pratiwi won very comfortably, 12 and 10. They met earlier in the year as well, the final of the Spain Masters, Iwanaga Nakanishi winning that in 3. Have just taken their first game against Beck and Lee. And we've got 6 game points here.
20, game point 14.
Oh, I think it was Kusuma took a chance. Lucky her partner was backing her up, but again, another chance wasted.
Service over.
Very long, that one.
15, 20.
I was there at that final for the Spain Masters. Yeah, the Japanese pair were top seeds, as I recall, and made to look very average in that first game of the final. They were untouched all week, if I remember. I think they won everything in straight games and didn't look like they were going to threaten at all. And suddenly the Indian... Oh! Well, it's still game point.
Oh,
great save.
A lovely shot.
Excellent.
What a rally that one to bring up the first game.
First game won by Pratiwi.
And one that has been excellent for the Indonesians since the interval. 12-4.
What about this dive from, I think it was Kusuma, and then there's a shot here turning this one cross. Brilliant. Great work in defense, full commitment.
Lebih yakin lagi aja. Kan kalau nyerangnya lurus dia kan pasti manjangin, tinggal diantisipasi aja yang depannya agak mundur, jadi nyambung, siapin sambungannya gitu loh. Ya, kalau nggak enak lewat belakangnya tinggal perubahan aja, tenang. Ya, tuh tadi Tiwi ada sekali buru-buru gitu. Tenang aja dikit, nggak apa-apa, lihat posisinya aja dulu. Gitu, ya. Nah, kalau mainin aja terus posisi lagi nolop kayak gitu, inisiatif aja, jadi langsung nyambung aja kata tadi anak tuh ada bagus tuh nyambung inisiatif, pasti dia akan datang lagi nolop lagi gitu. Ya, kalau nggak enak clear aja tinggi dilariin gitu, dilari lagi cepet defend lagi, sabar dulu aja sampai ada kesempatan cari serangan itu sih ya, itu aja ya, fokus sampai ini fokusnya ininya jangan kendor ya, ininya sama apa kualitas pukulannya itu ya, itu aja, perubahan lihat posisinya ya, lebih yakin lagi bisa ya, ayo.
Look at today's video.
レシーブ数を多分上げようとしすぎてるからさ、自分で攻めれるときはどんどんいってるよ。ドライブ。ドライブって決めてきたところを次にうまく書いてやる。うちらが上げるのが多いからさ、相手がもう先に下がり始めてるじゃん。ちょっと前もうちょっと使わないと長くてもいいから。
Second game.
So my rather rudimentary Bahasa talking about the quality of the hits, movement between the players. That's about all I could pick up really, but coach was pretty happy with what he had seen from his charges, as evidenced in the scoreline. See if a change of ends means a change of fortune for the Japanese.
It's a great shot.
I mean, they're showing the full array of shots, aren't they, at the moment, Indonesians, as we thought they would.
Yeah, they're using the width of the court really well, soaking up that, and well, any attack from the Japanese by width, essentially, which means the Japanese pair, when they get on the attack, are a bit too narrow because the Indonesians instantly get the attack back by turning it cross. On this occasion, she was there so early, and great shot quality. That previous rally was a clean winner. Good rally, good defense from the Japanese because that attack from the Indonesians was solid. And again, this time.
Too low.
So probably, you know, we put that age-old question, right? If you've got a carefully laid out plan or a specific tactic, and that's clearly not working for you, the plan B, does that have to kick in, or do you just keep going with what you know best?
I think that just depends on your confidence level behind the plan in the first place. Sometimes the plan might not be working because of the quality of the shot. So it's the right shot, maybe it's just not played well enough.
Fair.
And I'm not quite sure that is the case here.
Right.
I'm just keen to change. I like change.
Right.
I think if things aren't working, change it quickly,
right.
take a risk. If you get it wrong, you learn quick and change it again.
Yeah, I suppose that's where I'm kind of going with this at the moment, because it hasn't been working for the Japanese at the moment.
No, but there's, again, you get the impression, and I could be completely wrong, I'm just guessing here, that's brilliant. Pinning Nakanishi, who's floored. Well spotted. I get the impression that this Japanese pair are so well drilled, so well honed, so well practiced at what they do, with such belief in what they do. It would be a surprise to me if there was a big change-up, a big sort of plan B. I think they just believe in what they do, work hard at it, and keep going. That's my belief at what I'm looking at.
Which is also kind of how you described their overall plans, to just keep going and going and going, soak up the pressure.
Yeah.
Defensive in nature.
Well, to a point, they're actually being quite attacking today, but I just don't think they have that effectiveness in their attack at the moment. It seems very predictable, I guess, is what I'm looking at. You know, if it comes up to Nakanishi at the back, she's going to hit it hard. Iwanaga's going to look for net. When it's the other way around, you know it's not going to happen. It's going to be the opposite. If I'm the Indonesians, you should be able to absorb that and do something with it. Make the Japanese uncomfortable, and that's exactly what they did, especially in the second half of that opening game.
Of the last 16 points have gone to the Indonesians. That's just showing their absolute dominance at the moment.
That is wonderful from Pratiwi. Really good lesson for anybody learning the game. You know, she was quick onto that, took it early. She knew she was in the forecourt and committed, so get your racket up.
There's been a few moments like that, haven't there, Bobby, where they're probably favourite to win that point, and then deign to somehow lose it. So those are an unforced error, as it were, but the Indonesians otherwise have been very good.
They have missed a few chances, but they are committed to the cause and committed to the shot and trying to take it as early as they possibly can. That's their game plan. Occasionally they'll just misfire, and I guess if you do the right thing badly,
you're in the right direction, right?
Yeah, is that necessarily...
Is that 2 steps forward or 1 step forward, you know?
I'd rather see the right thing attempted, even if it doesn't come off, than not trying the right thing, and then just the rally goes on and nothing has happened.
Defending there.
That was excellent. Nakanishi saw space and found it, and the Indonesians had to work really hard.
Oh, the reactions there.
That is
brilliant.
Yeah.
Service
Kusuma.
over. 6-3.
A couple of hairy moments for the Indonesians. They came out of it well.
Again, it's Iwanaga, who loves playing at this net, took this on too early, and Pratiwi, is it Pratiwi at the front there in the leggings?
Kusuma.
That's Kusuma. Excellent to cope with that pressure. Longest rally as well.
Yeah.
Big smash. Yeah,
4-point lead.
Looked a bit dejected. I think she'd be unhappy with not returning that.
momentum has carried on into this second game for Kusuma Pratiwi. Dropped it in superbly.
8-3.
Despairing dive.
Yeah, she was fully committed to moving backwards again. She hits this, doesn't get forwards at all. She's almost looking to move back to middle and let Iwanaga come forwards, but again, it's predictable. And the Indonesians have adapted, see that space, are exploiting it, and it's almost making the Japanese look a bit foolish at times.
Again, Bobby, if that's clear, then you've got to plug that gap, right? You've got to plug that hole. You need to do something, right?
Nakanishi there, she got flick served. If she's not going to come back to a defensive position, so both Japanese players are sort of halfway up the court, standing side by side. If she's not going to get back to that position quickly, then Iwanaga should know that Nakanishi's going to play that and move backwards, and anything sort of pushed.
That's mine.
That's mine.
Yeah.
On this instance, Kusuma took a chance, and it was a predictable chance that Iwanaga wasn't going to react quick enough and found that space.
Is that alarm bells ringing by now?
Should be. Right. It definitely should be.
Now, that was a flick serve. And we saw the partners kind of working with each other there, right? I mean, they won the point in the end, the Indonesians. We didn't really see much of a rally, but they're kind of in sync, aren't they?
Yes.
Certainly more than their opponents are.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. So the Japanese flick served, you would hope, so let's say you and I are a doubles pair, you get flick served. I would hope that you get behind it and hit it down.
Right.
So I need to be at the net because you're not going to get back to the net quick enough.
Exactly.
So the moment that flick serve goes up, I need to move forward.
Move forward.
If you choose to do a different thing, clear it out or hit a drop shot, I've got time. I can then move away from where I would have been. But the
instinctive, yeah. If we've both said it at the same time, that would be the intuitive move, right?
Right, and that's where the Japanese are letting themselves down a little bit today, is that they've got this strategy and they don't seem to be both on the same page all the time.
And that's evidenced in our scoreline at the moment, isn't it? 11-4. Kusuma Pratiwi are going great guns at the moment in this match. They've taken the first game and are leading comfortably in the second.
Atau siap apa nuker split gitu loh, pas lagi kayak gini split aja nggak apa-apa gitu loh ya. Nah Tiwi kalau ketemu gini clear aja nggak apa-apa, atau nggak clear atau buang ke belakang nggak masalah, tapi siap lagi defense-nya ya. Defense-nya diarahin dulu, diarahin, kalau nggak dibuka gitu loh, diarahinnya gitu. Habis itu cepet cari serangan lagi gitu. Itu aja, sabar ya, kalau saya ininya sabar ngolahnya ya. Terus 1, 2, 3-nya terus jagain terus aja. Nah kalau yang ngincer yang kirinya pasti kalau nembak ke kirinya agak ngambang-ngambang tuh, tapi kalau yang kanannya dia agak lebih datar, nggak apa-apa kalau kayak tadi ini asal masuk aja dulu, nggak apa-apa. Terus di patternin aja terus ya serangannya ya, lebih yakin lagi. Ayo.
So now the post-interval session was a very good one in the last game for Kusuma Pratiwi, and Iwanaga Nakanishi will be really hoping they can replicate that.
Service over. 5-11.
smash.
Service
Really well
over.
placed, that smash.
12-5.
We've seen 3 or 4 in this game alone where they're hitting through the Japanese with the smash, which you don't see all that often. It suggests it is quite quick out here.
Right.
But also the placement of the smash. It's not the power that does it, it's the placement.
Yeah, nice and easy again. Kusuma.
13-5.
Quite often there's that correlation between weather outside and conditions inside, right? It's pretty cold out here.
It is cold.
Hangzhou, not as cold as it was
Cold
in
and
Shenzhen.
wet, and I think the choice of shuttles is therefore a bit quicker than it would be normally if it was sort of dry and humid.
Right.
When the shuttles would therefore fly faster.
14,
So because they've chosen faster ones, that's becoming more prevalent.
Yeah.
You know.
service over.
And we saw quite a lot of big
14.
smashes yesterday in our session. There was tons over 400 kilometers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Li Zijiao was certainly putting the shuttle through its paces yesterday.
Good rotation by the Indonesians. Oh, that's a lovely shot. I think Iwanaga would have been there if it hadn't have caught the
Service
net.
over. 15.
It's all kind of working out at the moment, isn't it, for the Indonesians?
Yeah, they're getting the luck as well as well as the reward for their hard work and smart play.
Their turn for a little slice of fortune. They need it desperately, Iwanaga, Nakanishi.
7-15.
Both courts on 15-7 at the moment, women's doubles. I know it's different opponents today for the Indonesian pairing, but they are looking so much sharper.
Yeah, well left. There's also, I mean, there's quite a lot in this playing style thing.
16.
There are pairs that you
7.
like playing and pairs that you don't, and the Japanese clearly don't like playing against this Indonesian pair, despite the fact the Japanese pair are higher ranked. They've won more titles. You know, they're playing a pair that are just inside the top 10 in the world.
Well, they win this, as they look favourites to at the moment. The Indonesians will be 3-1 up in the head-to-head.
Dictating again, the Indonesians. They're just picking apart the two Japanese.
Oh, again, Kusuma.
Just brilliant.
17-7.
Four points required for Kusuma and Pratiwi.
Good serve. Using the width of the court so nicely, the Indonesians. Another great rally.
18-7. Service over. 8-18. 9-18.
Kusuma, Pratiwi.
Oh, she's missed another.
Service over.
Just things aren't going quite
No.
their way today, as well as the Indonesians playing so well. They've got their strategy just right. They're getting some luck. The Japanese just don't seem to be getting anywhere today.
Yeah, it just seems to be one of those sort of days. Nothing's really gone for them. Not since the interval, really, of the first game. Massive 10-point lead now.
Oi. This time, I think the Indonesian shot came off the net, and then Iwanaga's return did too.
10-19.
Yeah, little net core both ways. That was lovely. We were just talking the permutations, Shazad, as well. Despite a loss in this match, it is still possible.
Yeah,
by the sounds of things,
the
get through.
Japanese would have to beat Beck and Lee tomorrow. Chungching Chen and Jia Fan have got 2 wins. They're through.
The Indonesians, though, then it's all tied up between the other 3 pairs.
Correct. The other 3 pairs are all on 1 win each, and then it comes down to games 1. And then points 1, perhaps, if there's even that, if it's tied up. So you want to be doing as well as possible here, Bobby. That's a good thing here. Even if you're...
I'm not sure if it is points. It probably is points 1, but
as a tiebreaker.
But it might be the tiebreaker as the result between the 2 pairs
the
that are
head-to-head.
tied. The head-to-head, yeah. But I'm not sure.
11-19. Please. When you sound, please.
Challenge 19-11. Bit of a comeback, a little bit of a comeback here from the Indonesian, from the Japanese. But the Indonesians now on match points, plenty of them in hand.
It was a brilliant return of serve. Took it early, pushed it wide.
Service over. 12-20.
Defense from the Japanese.
Game.
Oh,
So it's all done there. Kusuma Pratiwi got the win that they needed to give them a shot at the semi-finals. It's not necessarily over for the Japanese, but just keeping it to this game. It's been this match. It's been excellent from the Indonesians from the interval of the first game onwards.
fully well deserved. I mean, the very beginning of the match we weren't quite sure, but once the Indonesians worked out or reminded themselves how this Japanese pair play and what they're looking for, the strategy that they imposed was just superb. For a game and a half, they picked them apart and they made them look average, if I'm honest. And yeah, a well-deserved win for the Indonesians. Tough game for them tomorrow, but if the results go the right way in the other group match, they can see themselves through.
Yeah, they've got to pick themselves up here. That's 2 chastening defeats, especially this one I think is going to hurt a little bit more for Iwanaga and Nakanishi, a pairing that they outrank. It's 3-1 now in the head-to-head in favour of the Indonesians. and a fine win. They will savour this. And a chance, as we said, to get through to the next round. So, Febriana Dwi Puji Kusuma and Amalia Cahaya Pratiwi of Indonesia have beaten Japan's Rin Iwanaga and Kia Nakanishi 21-15, 21-12. It's taken them 47 minutes to do it. Coming up, it's women's singles. Han Yue of China, the only representative from the home nation here today on court 2, will take on Supanina Katong of Thailand. Fans are streaming in as we approach the weekend here in Hangzhou. The HSBC BWF World Tour Finals 2024. Plenty of Chinese representation here to keep these fans excited, but not just them. There are lots of world stars here, and as is evidenced in our hotel lobby, every day you're just seeing hundreds of them